What is up, everyone? This is Kaz. So, let's talk about BlizzCon. Now, I didn't attend BlizzCon, nor did I follow the BlizzCon news last weekend when it was live. However, after hearing about all the backlash about the Diablo event at BlizzCon, I had to find out what was going on. Now, if you've been a subscriber of my channel for a while, you know that I was an avid fan of Diablo 3 for a bit. I did a lot of streaming, had some goals in terms of GRs and how to get to that. But my love for the game died when it became apparent to me that if you didn't follow the meta, you weren't even looked at in terms of getting help or being able to contribute to a serious group. My transition into Path of Exile is what kind of rekindled my love for ARPGs. And I will admit that lately I have been burnt out on Path of Exile a bit as well, but definitely not towards the customization of builds that is available in the game. My experience with the Delve League has kind of gotten me a little unmotivated, seeing as how there's so much more to the game that I need to learn and experience before truly being able to experience current League mechanics, such as the Delve, and how to relate that to the difficulty of the other content in the game. So why am I going over this? Well, this information is really just for you to relate to where my experiences come from, and thus where my opinions from this video may come from as well. So last week, at BlizzCon, Blizzard announced the next Diablo game to be released. This was done as promised, but to everyone's surprise, it was also the announcement of Diablo Immortals' platform that shocked the world. Mobile phones. Okay, let's get something straight here. Yes, mobile phones are great, and the market is doing anything but getting smaller. Massive growth in the mobile gaming has been seen over the past 10 years, and companies are releasing better hardware, more suited for mobile gaming. But how does that compare with PC gaming? If you Google trends and search mobile gaming and PC gaming and compare the two trends, you'll see that there's an average of about 4 searches per day for mobile gaming versus the 50 to 75 searches per day for PC gaming. If mobile gaming is really growing as fast as they say it is, why is this still the case? Today in your conversations with other people, do you really hear someone say, "Oh, dude, I'm getting an iPhone XS because there's games on it that are going to change the way that we game"? No, we hear, "Dude, I'm getting an iPhone XS because my phone's dead," or because it's the latest in technology and I don't want to fall behind, or because I dropped my phone in the toilet. It's either that, or we get it because it's better at recording videos or photos, or being faster and more reliable at helping us conduct our business or social media. At the same time, when we hear people talk about PCs and gaming, we do hear people say, "Oh man, I'm getting a GTX 1080 Ti, because if I don't, I won't be able to play the next Call of Duty." Now, whether that has a direct result of the DirectX versions or a result of increasing the amount of GPU processing power, the fact remains that gamers will upgrade and make changes to their hardware to accommodate for the games that they play or want to play. In reality, what we see in mobile gaming is a side effect of mobile devices becoming more accessible and more readily available. The mobile gaming space is so successful not because people are talking about the next mobile game 12 months before it's even released, but because as a human being and as a result of life, people get bored and stuck in areas where they have nothing to do. Mobile platforms make it stupid easy for you to open the App Store and download a game, or 2 games at the same time. Your credit cards are already tied to your use of the App Store, so funding the game is more of an afterthought. These games average at a price of about $1 anyway, so it's not going to be a big deal if you splurge every once in a while. Now let's take a look at PC gaming. Nowadays we have platforms like Steam and Origin, and these make it easy for you to browse and look at games, but there's a big difference between that and the App Store. Games for consoles and PCs average at about $60 to $70 a pop. Sure, your playtime is going to be a bit more than your average mobile game, but that becomes a real big deal if you decide to splurge on PC or console games one too many times a month. So what am I trying to get at? The fact that mobile games are cheap and shouldn't be considered? No. Fallout Shelter did so well as a mobile game that Bethesda eventually released it on PC. But it wasn't a Fallout replacement. It wasn't considered to be the next big thing in the Fallout gaming series. And Bethesda made sure that the public realized this by teasing ES6 at the end of the Fallout Shelter announcement. Here at BlizzCon, it was announced, gameplay was shown, and an entire QA session was dedicated towards it, which I think made a lot of fans realize that Blizzard is putting all of their chips into this one. There's a bunch of content out there on the Boo Guy, as well as the guy who asked if this was an out-of-season's April Fool's joke, so I'm not going to get into that too much, but I think the big thing to take out of it was the silence in the crowd after it was asked if it was going to release on PC as well. I've heard all sorts of numbers from 60% to 90% of the people at BlizzCon are playing these games on PC. Well, that kind of shows the interest from a hardcore gamer. Again, if we go back to looking at our argument about gamers looking to game or casual non-gamers who happen to come across a game on the App Store, the more active gamers, or what people call the hardcore gamers, play on the PCs or consoles. When the question about whether or not this was going to be released on PC as well was answered, there was a series of boos from the crowd. So, obvious sign that the fans aren't happy about this, but the reply to this was, do you guys not have phones? The response to this, I think, could have been handled a lot better than it was. It gave me the impression that Blizzard didn't even try to do any market research on this platform before trying to go down this route. And no, the question isn't what part of the entire gaming market is on mobile, it's what part of your current fan base is on mobile, or what part of the current PC fan base is on mobile. If you are a multi-billion-dollar company and your focus for the past 20 years has been PC games, you do everything in your power not to lose your audience. You do everything you can to make sure you don't piss off your PC fan base. You do look at other platforms to further your company, but you don't leave your current fan base in the dust. In another interview with Blizzard after the con, they stated that, and I quote, "Many of us over the last few years have shifted from playing primarily desktop to playing many hours on mobile, and we have many of our best developers now working on mobile titles across all of our IPs. Some of which, with our external partners like Diablo Immortal, many of them are being developed internally only, and we'll have information to share on those in the future." So, not only is Blizzard hesitant about moving to mobile, but you're so unsure about the mobile move that you've offshored it to a Chinese company to do so. And you're currently working on other projects internally as well. Well, this definitely sounds like more mobile gaming is going to be in Blizzard's future. But again, is this what the public wants? And how does Blizzard intend to maintain its devotion to quality in its games when it's spreading itself out that thin? Doesn't this sound more like a very expensive and unstable gamble that Blizzard is trying to publicize and see what the public's reactions are? I don't think that the mass public is angry at the fact that there wasn't a Diablo 4 announcement at BlizzCon. I don't even think that the announcement of a mobile game is what the public is truly angry and frightened at. Honestly, I think it's a revelation that Blizzard is now hiring offshore companies to work on the games that they've owned IPs for decades, and is now passing off mobile games as part of their continuous process and content. Take any AAA game studio out there and start marketing them as a mobile game or mobile app developer, and I can guarantee you that the shares will drop just like Blizzard's did this week. Why? Because mobile game development has a bad stigma on it. I mean, now you're comparing the work of a multi-billion-dollar company against single-person productions, just like that guy that did Flappy Bird. What are we going to see next? Flappy Deckard Cain? I'm going to end my discussion on the Blizzard controversy here. However, Boogie2988 does do a better job at exploring the question of microtransactions within the mobile versions of the game. I will link his video in the description below, and I will also link a few other talks about this concept and whatnot. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If there's enough that I feel has been left unsaid in terms of the comments or whatnot, I will do a follow-up video to what I have kind of covered in this video. I want to thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see y'all next time.